Okay, so morphology of flowering plants. Of flowering plants. So basically over here, we'll be dealing with the external characteristics of a flower and its parts. So morphology means external parts. Okay, so a morphology definition, if we see, it is nothing but a branch of science which deals with the study of form, size, color, structure, and relative position of various parts of organism. In short, morphology is nothing but external characteristics, whatever we see for a basic plant or organism. That is termed as what? Morphology. So since this is the morphology of flowering plants, we are going to see the parts of flowering plants and how are they modified and what is their role in a plant. So starting with the parts of flowering plant. So basically, if you see a plant, what are the basic parts it will be having? Stem, then leaf, root, flower, and fruit. Okay, so in this stem, leaf, flower, fruits, this all comes under the shoot system. Whereas the root will come under the root system. Okay, so these are basically nothing but root and shoot. Okay, which gives rise to the roots and the other which gives rise to the entire plant above the ground. So basically the shoot system is nothing but which is above the ground, and that we call it as plumule. Whereas root system is underground, and that is termed as radicle. So plumule and radicle is nothing but the parts which are present in a cotyledon. So this is a basic cotyledon and it will be having basic two parts, that is plumule and radicle. Okay, and these are nothing but the two cotyledons. So depending upon how many cotyledons are present, they are being divided into two, that is dicotyledon and monocotyledon. So if it's a dicotyledon means two cotyledons will be present and mono means one cotyledon. Okay, so depending upon which the entire morphology of the plants, will be considering the dicotyledon and the monocotyledon characteristics. So first part is the root. So now what is root? Basically a structure, okay, which is being produced from the radicle, which helps in what? Anchoring of the plants, means fixation of the plants Plus, it helps the plants to absorb water and nutrients. And as I told you, it's developed from the radicle, which is nothing but the part of cotyledon. So basically, the root which is there, it is having three major regions. Okay. So before going into the exact regions of the root, let's see how the root system is modified in case of dicotyledon and monocotyledon. Okay, so here now basic three types of root system is present. Okay, that is tap root system, fibrous, and adventitious. So these are what the three basic root system which are present in plants. So now which of the one is present in dicotyledon and monocotyledon? So when you consider the dicotyledon, here the root system which is present is taproot. So here it is the taproot and here it is fibrous root. Fine. So now what is this taproot and fibrous root? So taproot will be somewhat like this. Okay. Will be again having small roots like this. Root hairs. So this is generally what? Taproot. So taproot is nothing but the elongation of radicle with the lateral root, which is going to form what? Primary, secondary, and tertiary roots. So primary, secondary, and tertiary roots means 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so these are what called as the taproot system, which is generally found in mustard and gram. Whereas in monocotyledons, it is fibrous. Fibrous means how it will be? Simply a bunch of roots like this you will be having. So this is what fibrous roots means. Here the definition will be the primary root is replaced by large number of roots at base of the stem. Base of the stem. For example, wheat, rice. Okay, this will be the example of fibrous root. Whereas the third one is adventitious root. So adventitious means what? From the other parts when the roots develop, it is called as adventitious root. Means it will not be developed from the radicle, that is a root. Okay, apart from that, any other part it is going to develop. Hence, it's called as what? Adventitious roots. So these are nothing but the roots which arise from other parts beside radicle. So here how it will be, if suppose consider this is a plant. Okay, this is the stem. So here the roots You will find it like this, and here there will be leaves. So other than the radicle, when the root grows like this, you can say it is what? A adventitious root. For example, banyan tree. You may have seen the roots falling from the trees. So those are the example of what? Adventitious roots. Okay, so these are what? The three types of modifications of roots. Fine. So basically, this will be the types of roots. Modification we are going to see further. So next step is the regions of root. What are the regions of roots? So it has major 4 regions, out of which the first one is called as the root cap. So if you see, it will be somewhat like this. Okay, so this is a basic diagram, okay, of a entire root. So which comprises of several parts, such as this will be the root cap. Okay, this will be the meristematic region. This middle part is the elongation region, and this upper part is the maturation region. So first, coming to the root cap. So root cap, as you can see, it is present in the apex of the root, and which is covered by a thimble-like structure. Thimble-like structure. So thimble-like structure means this one. Okay, this is called as what? Thimble-like structure. So basically, it gives protection, plus it allows the that particular root to penetrate through the soil without any disturbance. So for that purpose, this root cap is present. Then the second one is meristematic region. Meristematic region. So meristematic means what? Highly dividing cells will be present over there. Okay, so this region is present above the root cap. Then above that is the third one, which is elongation region, or region of elongation. So here what happens is, whatever dividing cells which are produced in the meristematic region, they will elongate. The cells will elongate, and what will happen to them is they will enlarge in size, thereby increasing the length of the root. And the fourth region is the maturation. So maturation means what? Obviously over here, the roots will become mature so that they can do its function. That is nothing but absorb water and minerals. So here, whatever the root hairs and all those stuff is there, it will grow, so that they can penetrate deep into the soil where the water and minerals are present. So this is nothing but the 4 main parts of regions of roots. Next one is the modification of roots. So basically all the parts of the plants are modified, okay, into roots, leaves, all those stuff, so that they can store food, okay, they can fix the nitrogen, or any other function, support system, protection, many other functions are there. So we are going to see how the roots modified into certain shapes and structures, and how they are going to help. So the first thing is nothing but the taproot, okay, which is basically present in carrot, an adventitious root, which is present in sweet potato. So here, basic function of this two, what do you say, taproot and adventitious root in the form of carrot and sweet potato is what? Storage of food. Then comes the second one, which is prop and stilt root. So prop root and stilt root, prop root which is present in the banyan tree and stilt root in the maize, and this is basically for the support. Then comes the third modification, which is pneumatophores, which is present in rhizophores, and the function is respiration, or also you can say aeration. And the fourth type is fleshy taproot. Okay, so under this fleshy taproot, we have three forms: conical, fusiform, and napiform. So if you see conical, okay, that is basically the carrot. Then the next one is fusiform. The example we can give is the radish. Okay, and the last one which is there, it is the napiform, which is nothing but a beetroot. Okay, so this is how the form looks like. Carrot, that is conical, fusiform for the radish, and napiform for the beetroot. Okay, so all this again for the storage purpose only they have been used. So this is all about what? The root regions and its modifications. Then comes the next part of the plant, which is the stem. So stem, again, this will lead to certain other parts of plants such as branches, leaves, flowers, and fruits. And from where is it grown? From the plumule of embryo. So basically, if you consider a plant, okay, it'll be like okay, so here in this, you have basic two things. One is the nodes and other one is the internodes. So what is this nodes and internodes? Now over here, if you consider this thing, I'll just draw here a small, yeah. So here, small part you will find like this. Okay, and this is only called as what? Nodes. Whereas between these two nodes, which region is present is called as internodes. Okay, so nodes means what? From where the leaves are born. Whereas internodes means what? The region which is present between the nodes is called as internodes. Okay, so basically over here, stem also has certain functions such as storage, support, then protection, as well as for the vegetative propagation. So now let's see what are the modifications in a stem. So modifications. So according to the functions only, they are modified. First one is for the storage. Examples: potato, ginger, turmeric. Then second one is for the support. In the support, you can take a structure of tendrils, okay, which is found in watermelon, then pumpkin, cucumber. Okay. Then comes the third one, which is protection. For example, thorns. Okay, thorns are modified stems only. Means whatever the axillary buds are there of the stem, they will be modified into woody structure, which is nothing but thorns. For example, citrus fruits or bougainvillea. Then the fourth one is vegetative propagation. So vegetative propagation, in that you have tubers and rhizome. Basically in ginger and potato you can find that. Okay, so these are what the basic 4 modifications of the stem. So apart from this, you also have few more, such as called as the flattened stem, which you will find in the plant Opuntia, as well as you have something called as underground modification. Now, what is the underground modification of stem? So in this, basically 5 modifications are there, which are called as sucker, rhizome, corm, tuber, and buds. So sucker, basically apple is the example. Rhizome, already told you, ginger. Corm, there's a plant called as gladulus. Then in tuber, potato or yam also you can take. Whereas in the buds, whatever eatables are there, you can take the examples such as cabbage, cabbage head. Okay, that's also a form of bud only. So these are what certain modifications of the stem. Then the next one is about the leaf. The next part is the leaf. So leaf, again, from where does it originate? From the shoot, apical, meristem. Okay, so what is leaf? Leaf is nothing but a green lateral flattened outgrowth from the stem node. And the main function is what? Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. So basically the leaves will be arranged in acropetal order. Acropetal order. Okay, so if I can if you take a basic leaf structure, okay, it'll be having like 3 parts. Consist of 3 parts. That is a leaf base, a petiole, and a laminae. So now, how does this actually look like? So it's somewhat So this is okay. So over here, this is nothing but the margin of leaf. Okay, this is called as the midrib. Then this thing is called as the vein, and the sub branches you can see is called as the veinlets. Okay, this structure, the small thing, is called as the stipule. Then this thing is the petiole, and this is called as the leaf base. Okay, so usually there is a mid vein or a midrib. Okay, again, it has different veins or veinlets over there. So the basic function of this midrib or veins and veinlets is what? Transport. Okay, transport channels they act as. That is, for the water, means after during the photosynthesis, whatever food water is there for that transport, it is important. And second one is it provides rigidity to leaf blade. So leaf blade is nothing but this entire thing which is there, because obviously when you just take or roll those leaf, it will be having certain kind of rigidity. Means when the wind blows and all those stuff, it should not tear off. So that particular rigidity also this midrib provides it. Okay, so basically whatever the vein or veinlets are there, they are arranged in this lamina, and which is termed as what? Venation. Okay, so whatever arrangement of vein and veinlets in this leaf lamella is called as what? Venation. Okay, so depending upon how the veins or veinlets are being, forming the network or how they are divided, you have different types of venations. Okay, so basic two types of venations are there. Two types of venation, like how the veins are formed on that basis. So the first one is the parallel, and the second one is reticulate. Okay, very important. Two types of venation, that is parallel and reticulate. So what is parallel and reticulate? So parallel, most probably you will find in the monocots. So this reticulate in the dicot. For example, say banana leaf, and here mango. Okay, and the basic difference between the parallel and reticulate is what? In the parallel, the network is absent. Network is absent, and they will be in parallel form. Like for example, if suppose take this as a, sorry, just a second. Yeah, so if you take a basic banana leaf, so here you will find whatever veins are there, they will be parallel to each other. So this is called as parallel type of venation. Whereas in the reticulate, what will happen is they will form network. But the network will be irregularly distributed. Regularly distributed. So that will be somewhat like this. Okay, so here networks will be there, but irregularly it will be distributed. So this is a reticulate venation. So these are what the two types of venation, parallel and reticulate. Fine. So next one is what? The types of leaves. Types of leaves. Now basically two types of leaves are present. One which is called as compound and another one which is called as simple leaf. So simple leaf means just one leaf like this, it will be present. Whereas compound leaf means what? Many leaves will be present like this. So this is called as compound and this is called as the simple leaf. Now, simple leaf doesn't have any further classification because they will be having only single lamella. But under the compound, you have two types. Okay, the one is called as the pinnately compound leaves and palmately compound leaves. Now, what is this pinnate and palmate? Okay, so basically pinnate and palmate means this compound leaves have a characteristics that is whatever the point, okay, from from where the leaves will generate, it will be a common axis. Okay, so this compound leaves will be having what? A common axis. For example, you can take neem. Okay, so what is this pinnate and palmate? So pinnate means nothing but whatever the incision of lamina will be there, that will reach the midrib and break into leaflets. Means if suppose this is the midrib, it will go to the entire leaf like this. Okay, so it will reach that particular lamina. So hence they are called as what? Pinnate leaf. Okay, so this pinnate leaf will be most probably having a common axis. Pinnate leaf will be having what? A common axis. Whereas whatever the palmate leaf is there, it will be having just a common point. Okay, so this is called as what? Pinnately and palmate. In short, pinnate leaf will be having a common axis from where all the leaves will grow, whereas the palmate will be having what? Just a common point. Okay, so what in a pinnate leaf, what will happen is that incision of the lamina, it will reach the midrib, and whatever the leaflet end is there, till there it will come. So that is the only difference between what? A pinnate and a palmate leaf. Here example for the palmate, silk cotton is the example for the palmate leaf. So depending upon whether it's a compound leaf or a simple leaf, there are certain arrangements you will find in this leaf system. Basically, if they are a compound leaf. Okay, so there are different patterns you will see in different plants. So those patterns of leaf arrangement is termed as what? Phylogeny. So this is nothing but the pattern of leaf arrangement in stem. So basic three patterns will be found over here, which is called as alternate, opposite, and volt. Now what is this alternate, opposite, and volt? Very simple. Alternate means what? You will find only single leaf at each node. For example, this is called as alternate leaf. Opposite. Opposite means what? You will find a pair of leaf from each node. Opposite. to each other. And how they will look like? Like this. This is opposite. And whorled means what? Simply that thing will be having like here only leaves you will find like this. Whorled means surrounding the entire stem, that leaves will be present. So in alternate, you can take the example of China rose. In opposite, guava. And here you can take sunflower. So these are all, okay, the arrangement of the leaf pattern in a stem. Then the next one is modification of leaf. Modification of leaf. So leaves are basically divided into three types, that is tendrils, spines, and fleshy leaf. So tendrils means in a pea plant, okay, you can find small thread-like structures. Those are called as tendrils. Then spines means in the cactus. Okay, those are called as the spines, the pokey structures. And the fleshy leaf means it is in the case of onion or garlic. Okay, they are called as what? Fleshy leaves.